all on the same level, and you're all just like, woohoo, let's go for it, yeah. Kids I've worked with from Stars now in Launch, the difference is insane. Without this funding, or any funding really, we wouldn't have the opportunity to do that. And I think, no, I'm actually a trained professional.
Horse riding,
so,
saxophone playing.
Backwards, handstand on the horse as well. That's like a whole thing. Like, what do I do? How do I bring myself into this? This is completely a different world that I've not really been in.
Seeing the impact of that funding means that you're seeing a young person's life change.
Absolutely.
Where's the effing creativity? You got it right.
Thank you very much.
You're so clever.
I've been practicing.
Hi, Colleen.
Hello.
Welcome to a special of
Where's the effing creativity?
And we are making this special all about funding as part of our campaign for the Big Give at Christmas. And we wanted to just talk to some of our most brilliant and favourite people about funding and the impact that it has on you and your creativity.
Nice.
That's why you're here.
I'm excited to be here.
Are you feeling ready?
Yeah,
She's ready.
Loosey-goosey, ready to go.
So it feels like a crazy question for us to be asking you, but for the people who are listening, how does creativity affect you in your life, in your job, in your work, all of those sorts of things?
Well, I'm originally an actor, so that's where my training is like acting. It used to be kind of like straight acting on stage, script, that sort of thing. And I've been doing that sort of thing since I was like 8 or 9, so it's been a very, very long time. I'm 28 now, just to put that on there.
Don't look a day over 36.
Oh, thank you. So that's always kind of followed me through from childhood, from being just like a hobby, and now into kind of, my career and my world and training and stuff like that. But now, thanks to working with you guys, and also when I went to a university as well, I kind of got to have a go at trying those different kind of practitioner type style themes and stuff like that. And I found that physical theatre, working with you guys, is really like important thing for me, and something that I really found that I excelled in. So with that, it's kind of now become into this whole thing where I'm now in a world where I get to work with like dancers, and I get to work with people who I would never have come across before. And I think when I first kind of started, it was a bit like, what do I do? How do I bring myself into this? This is completely a different world that I've not really been in, other than like a module at university where I did it for like a term, and then I was like, I could do physical theatre.
We always thought that was, it's on your CV.
Yeah. No, I'm actually a trained professional.
Horse riding,
so,
saxophone playing.
Backwards, handstand on the horse as well. That's like a whole thing. But I kind of find that now, with that in mind, and kind of trying to figure out where I'm going in the world as well, I always like to think that I'm now kind of a bit more of a performer and a mover. I definitely wouldn't say I'm a dancer, but from working over the last, how long?
5 years?
4 or 5 years.
I mean, I don't
yeah.
keep a record.
I don't know. I think it's about 5 years.
It feels longer.
I feel like I can say more. Well, you're welcome. Okay.
Well, we would certainly say that you are a physical performer and a very important part of our team. How does creativity impact on your everyday when you're working?
So when I work with like young people, or just like in life? I mean, I feel like it always comes into it. I mean, I also work alongside in a cafe at the same time, and that's kind of performing at the same time. Like, I perform when I'm performing, and I perform when I'm making coffees, and I perform when I'm having to bring the coffees to the tables for all the elderly people who come in, who might have been having a bad day, and I have to crack on that smile and be like, it's okay, you can talk to me like rubbish and I'm fine. And then having that as well, kind of going into then working with the youth theatre that I run as well, I feel like creativity doesn't really leave my day. It's always, there's something there, even if it's just down to me sitting down, and maybe the only thing that I've done creatively that day is watch a video.
Serve some coffee,
yeah. But a thing that I've just started recently in the last 24 hours is I'm starting to learn how to use the tin whistle.
Oh, hey.
Ooh. Yeah. So I'm actually trying, my aim is to be able to do at least a little bit of a tune, so on Christmas Day I can whack out the tin whistle. and go diddly diddly.
I love that. That's amazing. So you're a very creative person, and I think what we really appreciate and what we see in you when you're working with the youth group with Sprung Stars and Sprung Launch is that you're always bringing new ideas, new energy, new ways of exploring things, and I think that really helps to keep children engaged and wanting more. They're like, what's now? How are we going to do this? And you don't know this, Mark, but Colleen and I are particularly creative when the box of fabrics come out, and we always find new characters, and many times we have walked around the room as like...
I think we were on weren't we on like a cruise or something?
Space cruise.
We were on a space cruise, and we were the guests, and they were all they ran the cruise. So Stars ran the space cruise, and they took us all into the different rooms that there was. So there was a theatre, and there was like
a spa.
There was a spa,
So the young people were in charge of the cruise.
Yes,
and
we were the guests, and we were dressed up like aliens.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
It was just it was one of those sessions where it was like, let's just see what happens, and the kids just took it, and we
And it was
went
the
with
best.
it. It was great. It was so much fun.
And is that important to you? Do you think that's important to engage in that sort of chaotic creativity, if you like, with the young people?
Yeah, I think so. I think having that kind of, some people would say chaos and chaotic, but I think it's just freedom with doing it, because with the younger ones especially, if you just go, we're set in space, or we're in a desert, and here's a load of different stuff, the creative stuff that they come up with, and they just have fun, and it's just play. And I find that having that kind of chaotic, if you want to call it that, kind of freedom with it brings so much better stuff. Like it makes it really fun for everyone who's involved. Also, as an adult who doesn't really get to play every single day, having that like hour and a half or 2 hours with the young people, I just get to then be a kid as well. So then it'll be myself and then Dan, who's the other leader, obviously, just playing for like an hour and a half on a Friday night, and I'm like, this is great. I have so much fun.
Everybody needs that.
Yeah, it's really cathartic. Like, and then if I'm having a bad day, sometimes I'll get to Sprung and I'll go, oh, I'm at Sprung now, so I just get to play for an hour, and then I get to go home, and I'm like, oh, it's actually sorted out my day. So
That's
yeah,
lovely.
definitely.
That's nice.
So we're going to talk about the big F for today, which is funding. And we really are interested, I mean, you've spoken a little bit about the work that you do with Sprung and especially with the youth group, but what impact do you think funding has on creativity?
Well, I mean, with funding, you don't have as many restrictions, so that's already like an obvious one when it comes to that. But funding really helps elevate a lot of ideas. When you've got an idea and it's at that moment it's just an idea, having funding allows it to become an actual thing, and it's something that you physically can like hold and touch and be like, this is what it is. And I think with young people as well, especially because there's so little funding a lot within the arts and stuff like that, having funding there to be able to turn around to maybe even if it's just a handful of kids and go, we're going to go and do this because we've got the funding to do this, and now we're going to go and make this memory. For them, it could just be a memory, but it could also be a moment where they switch and they go, I've never been able to do this before. I love doing this. I think I'm going to do that. And I really relate to that because, I mean, essentially that's how I met you guys when I first was in like year 8, because you came to my school because you had the funding to be able to come to my school, and then I met you then and I went, this is great, I love doing this. And then I ended up doing my work experience with you guys, and then hey, full circle, hi guys, I'm back.
Just couldn't get enough.
I think we should put in our contract that anyone who's basically suggests that we are really, really old.
I have an old experience.
You're
okay?
old.
You're just feeling
very experienced.
I think, funding that is one of the main things. It's like with that funding, you can make things a reality that a lot of kids don't have like the opportunity to have that reality. And even if it's just for a session, or if it's for a residency, or if it's for an hour, like, you've created something for that young person, and funding allows you to do that,
Yeah.
You're in quite a privileged position as well in being the leader of Sprung Youth, to see the impact that funding has on those young people who can't necessarily afford to pay fees to go to do these kinds of experiences, and we're able to provide bursaries to support young people to be part of Sprung Youth. And I think we've got about 8 young people who are on bursaries this year. What does that look like when you see those young people in the room who perhaps wouldn't be there if it wasn't for somebody donating to the charity?
I mean, you just see the way that they light up in the room, and I think having an opportunity to be able to do something, especially because this isn't like a normal youth group, okay, it's a different kind of thing that we do, and I feel that for children and young people who wouldn't have that opportunity except for a donation, it really opens up this whole new world. And you know, the kids are amazing, and they always seem to, even when they're new and they join, we've had a recent young person who's joined one of our groups, and they are just amazing, like the energy they bring in. And I'm like, it's now like, I know I can like rely on that young person and be like, I know you've only been here for like, I don't know, 4 weeks, but here's all these lines and you're going to be able to do those, and then I want you to do this and you're going to do that, and they're with it in stride. And it's because I know that they really want to be there and they enjoy being there, and to have those opportunities for so many young people who wouldn't have that opportunity before, I think is a really, really great position to have, or like, you know, an option that they could do, I think is a really good thing. And it's just great. It's just seeing it.
What impact do you think that will have on that young person's life? I mean, is it a case of just experiencing something, finding a talent, or do you think that investment of, what's it, £80 or whatever it is, that what is that impact on that young person's life?
I mean, it could be anything from an experience, but also it could make them, like being in a session, it's not just about being there and then you leave. There's so many things that we do in sessions where it's confidence building, or it's working with text, and maybe it's just being on stage. Like maybe they just never hadn't been in a position where they've been in front of an audience, or even in a group of young people who are all like-minded who want to be on stage. And also it might also be a case of meeting young people and they build friendships. That might be the only thing that they take from it. But I think that it's not just about an experience, it's about finding maybe like-minded people that they become friends with over time, or say in school, if they have gotten more confident working with us, then that might impact them in school in terms of their own exams, or even talking to teachers, or even just getting up in class, and if they have to read out a bit of work that they might have to do, they might just find that, oh, actually, yeah, I can do that because I've just done, you know, script work in Sprung, and we've been doing a show, and now I'm really confident that I can pick up that book and just read aloud without worrying. And, you know, we know a lot of young people who have gone through, especially you guys, who now work in crazy jobs and have done loads of different things with their lives. And I do think that going to these sessions was probably a little bit part of the reason of where they've got to now. And I think people don't realise how important the arts are, and especially youth groups like ours, because it really builds foundations. Even if you don't realise it now, who knows, in 5 years' time, someone might come back who's left Sprung now, come back in 5 years and goes, I've done this in my life, thank you so much, and it's because you guys gave me the confidence to do it. And that's happened. I believe that's happened to you guys before.
Yeah. And the funding is where it starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you agree that actually seeing the impact of that funding means that you're seeing a young person's life change?
Absolutely. Like, completely. I think having that funding there to be able to even be an option for young people can completely change a young person's life. In all groups across the whole of Sprung Youth, from Stars up to Advanced Plus, we've seen kids change, and we've seen them kind of develop and evolve and get more bold and playful and all that sort of stuff. And it's happening right in front of you, and whether you see it in that moment, you might not go, oh, every session that's changed, but kids I've worked with from Stars now in Launch, the difference is insane. And especially then talking to parents outside of it as well, and kind of them talking to us about how it's helped them in their school life or in their friends' life and all this sort of stuff. It's so obvious a change that without this funding, or any funding really, you know, we wouldn't have the opportunity to do that. And I think it's a really great thing to have, and it's always really heartwarming to like see it as well, especially when you actually take the moment to go, oh, actually, if I really look at it, this has happened, and then now they're here, and it's like, how have you managed to get here, and in such a short amount of time as well? It's crazy. It's great.
We've got one last question.
Yeah.
Which is, Colleen, what's your effing creativity? I thought we were going to do that together then.
It's okay. I was letting you do it.
Feel like that
just on my own?
Every episode, it changes.
Did you see how I gave him the lead in?
Yeah, I saw it, and I was like
doing the big eyes.
And
eyes.
I thought you did it really well, and I thought, okay, let's go for it. Just you say.
I was like,
should we do it together?
I'll sing it.
You're going to sing it?
Oh.
What's your effing creativity?
Was that song?
I didn't think that was
That was.
Another way of
like a
speaking.
jingle.
I was going for.
What's your effing creativity?
I was going for a Bob Dylan feel.
You're just doing some spoken word.
Slam poetry was
Yeah.
great.
So do you know what the question is?
What's my effing
There you
creativity?
go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think sticking with the F theme, I would say with 2 words is fun and freedom. Because I have found that as someone who kind of went through the whole training of like becoming an actor, and you are on stage and you have your script, and I do feel like you get limited, and I think also you can find yourself taking yourself too seriously. And I think I sometimes used to get to the point where I would really take myself a bit too seriously, and I'd be like, oh, well, I can't do that because if that's not what it says in there, and I can't go off this, that, the other. And then I learned to have fun, and suddenly it was like the world is like completely different. And especially I think with that then comes the freedom, because once you have fun, you can actually have freedom with what you do. And if you have fun, the young people will have fun because they see you having fun, and then suddenly it changes whatever workshop, or if you're in a school, or if it's just at a session for Sprung Youth, suddenly the whole session just goes whew, and you're suddenly all on the same level, and you're all just like, woohoo, let's go for it, yeah. And you can see the kids, they brighten, like their eyes brighten up, and it's just so much fun. So fun and freedom.
I love it. And I think we would always associate fun with you. You are absolutely one of the most fun people to work with on the team. You always bring the fun and the competitiveness in the games.
Well, when I'm with Emily and Mark, it just happens.
It's usually my face where the ball gets thrown.
And I'm sorry for that, but it just happens to be at the right height for when I do like a power hand, and then it smacks you right in the every time.
It's all right. It's
and
fun.
you're just being free.
I'm being free. I'm being fun and free.
Well, thank you very much,
thank
Colleen,
you.
and
Thank you so
let's
much.
keep our fingers well and truly crossed that this funding campaign brings in some more investment so that we can have more fun times with brilliant young people led by you. How lucky they are. Thank you very much, Colleen.
No worries.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
The music's rolling. Thanks, Colleen. Bye.
Where's the F in creativity?